I'm gonna do what's called a pro gamer move.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Oh! Oh my god! Oh! No! Get the camera!
Quick shout out to TQT for taking these awesome screenshots of Cassie for my thumbnail today. If you want to hit this person up on Twitter, they will happily take requests and give you awesome screenshots of Mortal Kombat 11 gameplay. And so far, they don't charge you a dime, so it's completely free, so I recommend getting some quality screenshots while you still can. And then one more quick shout out to Wooly Versus, a fantastic channel. It has fighting game content, but also a bunch of Let's Plays and an amazing podcast, so make sure to check it out. Alright, now on to the rest of the video. How's it going, everyone? My name is True Underdog, and today we're going to talk about Cassie Cage and her best tournament variation. Because this character has made quite the comeback, a lot of pro players have started picking her up. And keep in mind, at one point this character was considered the best in the entire game. There's been a lot of nerfs since then, but I think Custom Combat has made her a lot better. So without any further ado, let's talk about her best tournament variation. So first up, we have Kneecapping. I'm going to be real with you, this is easily one of the best projectiles in the entire game. It might be unsafe when done up close, but outside of that, it's fantastic. It's great for zoning, and it's even better at counter zoning because Cassie Cage gets so low. And as an added bonus, it knocks down after every hit confirm and is also plus 15 on hit, which can make it very strong in the corner. Because keep in mind, a projectile that knocks down by default is actually very rare in this game. And if that wasn't enough already, it's also her go-to combo extender if the opponent doesn't have access to breakaway. It does decent damage, you can do a jump in and keep the combo going, and once the combo's done, you have some solid damage. And you don't even have to be close to start the combo. Look how far away I was there. Start of the round beyond jumping distance, and I still get every single bullet to connect. So this thing can whiff punish a projectile and still start a combo. And then last but certainly not least, the amplified follow-up is also great for controlling space. Look how much of the screen is covered when I spin to that bar. If your opponent is low on life and you want to spin the bar, they're pretty much guaranteed to die because they can't avoid this thing by jumping. In fact, the follow-ups are also great against characters like Cetrion and Jade, who have air projectiles because you hit them right out of the sky. In fact, one time that won a match at a tournament, and it was one of the hypest things I've ever seen.
He's not dead. He got the shield. Oh my god! One fatal blow down.
So as you can see, I was not joking when I said Kneecapping is one of the best projectiles in the entire game. The only negative thing about it is that it's unsafe on block when done up close, but honestly, even then, since you amplify and go backwards, a lot of beginners don't know how to punish it. Don't get me wrong, it's still very unsafe on block, and you should never amplify on block against a good player, but against someone who's a bit casual or doesn't know how to fight against Cassie Cage, you can actually get away scot-free sometimes by amplifying. The only way this move could be any better is if it hit low, but thankfully that's not the case, because this character does have some overhead, so if she had some 50-50s with this move, well then that would just be ridiculous. And then next up we have Shoulder Charge, and I'll be honest, I wasn't quite sure why a lot of pro players were rocking this move because I didn't think the damage was that much, but then I remembered how the meta of the game works right now. Because while this move doesn't do a lot of damage on its own, it does do unbreakable damage. So right here, the opponent had no chance to break away, and look at that, 27% for one bar. That's really good for a character like Cassie who's already so solid. And even if you don't want to spin the bar, this move is still +1 on hit, which makes it very strong in the corner because there's no longer any pushback. So check this out. I'm right in her face and I have access to a 9-frame mid, so really good pressure on hit. If the opponent tries to press any buttons, they're most likely going to get counter hit, and once they know that, they're gonna block, which means you can just throw them because once again, you're +1. It's gonna eat a lot of their slower moves. So yeah, this move becomes really strong in the corner. It's great for pressure. But there's one more thing about this move that makes it fantastic, and it might be the best thing about this special move, and that's the range combined with the startup. Look at that, 12 frames. That's really good, and it has some amazing distance. And as a result, this move is fantastic for punishing on block. Similar to Sub-Zero's slide, Cassie can close the distance much faster than a lot of characters thanks to this move. So for example, look at this situation right here. Cassie is pushed really far away, and a lot of players won't know what to do here because none of your normals will actually reach. You're just too far away. away, so what do? Well, you do the shoulder charge because the range and speed is amazing. Look at that, a punish. For a lot of characters on the roster, this situation would be very tough to punish, but not for Cassie Cage. Shoulder charge has such good range and such good speed that it makes punishing easy. And to make things even better, if you punish the opponent on the last frame and they're holding the block button, you'll get the crushing blow, which does a ton of damage. Look at that, almost 33% for a single special move. That is just bonkers. And normally I hate that crushing blow requirement because it feels very random, and it still can be, but for Cassie it makes a lot of sense because once again, the opponent's going to be holding block. They think you can't punish them, but then bam, at the last possible frame you catch them and you get the crushing blow. So as you can see, just like Kneecapping, shoulder charge is a very strong special move. And then last but not least, we have flipping out, and I owe this move an apology because I actually added it to my worst attacks in Mortal Kombat 11 video. I really did think it was that bad, but as it turns out, it does have some viability. However, it's mostly used on block after the Whip It Good string. So as you can see, it's -8 on block, so this string is fully punishable. However, if you cancel into flipping out, you're now completely safe at -3, and you're still pretty close to the opponent to apply some pressure. Now, of course, the issue is there is a gap before the bullets actually connect, and as a result, the opponent can actually move out of the way and possibly punish you, but as a Cassie player, you can change which version you do. There's a close version, a far version, and a regular version. So as long as you keep mixing it up between the three, the opponent's gonna have a pretty darn tough time punishing you, and as a result, you can do Whip It Good pretty much all the time. Just dial the whole thing in, don't even try to hit confirm, and then go into flipping out. Like I said before, it is a bit of a gimmick because there are ways to beat it, but nearly every top player I've seen playing Cassie Cage has used flipping out in their arsenal, so I think it's safe to assume the opponent has a tough time punishing this move. And keep in mind, you don't have to only use it with Whip and Good. You can use this move after any move that's unsafe. So for example, back one, pretty unsafe, but cancel into flipping out, and now you're only -3. Or hey, how about this string, back 2-4, it's -7 on block, but now thanks to flipping out, it's completely safe at -3. In a nutshell, flipping out is a great way to keep yourself safe after any strings that would otherwise be punishable. Don't get me wrong, I do still think it's a pretty gimmicky move, and I think with time, players will find a way around it consistently, but as it stands right now, flipping out can be really good on block. But once again, do make sure to mix up the distances if the opponent starts punishing you. And that's about it for the main tournament variation. However, I did see some pro players rocking the flying glow kick, and I personally love this move because it's very versatile. So for starters, it has some really good range. So if you're fighting somebody with a projectile that has a lot of startup, you can punish them, and if you do, you'll actually get a crushing blow for 25%. And even though it is only +1 on hit, you're still close enough to the opponent for Cassie Cage's fastest mid, which once again is 9 frames, so they do have to respect this thing if you get the knockdown. And then on top of all of that, this is also Cassie Cage's go-to armor break, so if you're fighting someone who loves to break away, then flying glow kick is the perfect attack for your arsenal. But then we have the absolute best feature about this move. So for whatever reason, Cassie Cage is the only character who can cancel a special move into her fatal blow. So check this out. I mean, seriously, how cool is that? Cassie is the only character, to my knowledge, in the entire game who can cancel a special move into a fatal blow. And that's interesting, because believe it or not, in most fighting games, you actually can cancel a special move into a super, but that's just not the case for this game for every other character except for Cassie Cage. So like I mentioned earlier, this attack is super unique. And then for the icing on the cake, if you cancel flying glow kick into her fatal blow, the combo damage is just ridiculous. Check out this basic combo and how much damage it does. Look at that, almost 46%, and all of that damage was guaranteed. There was never a chance for the opponent to break away. And then if the opponent doesn't have enough meter to break away, the combo damage gets even higher, especially in the corner. I mean, look at that, almost 50%, and it didn't cost us any meter. That's important. That was a meterless combo that did 50% damage. And for me personally, that's why flying glow kick is one of my favorite moves in the entire game. It's just so darn unique. No other character has the ability to cancel their special into a fatal blow, so it's just awesome. And what I find even crazier is that Cassie Cage is already a super solid character, even without the custom abilities. For example, she can leave the opponent standing at the end of every combo, which denies their wake up every single time, and she's plus. Or even without flipping out, she can do a rising glow kick and then spin the bar to keep herself safe every single time. In fact, sometimes she's neutral. So as long as she has one bar available, most players can never punish her. And there you have it, everyone, a step-by-step breakdown of Cassie Cage's best variation. Please request which character you want next in the comment section down down below, and then while you're down there, please leave a like. It really does support the channel a ton. And then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.